Hi, Psychic Frank's Mystery School. How you doing? Okay, when I got this new computer, thank you, universe. And here's Gabby. She's somewhere around there, my parrot. Yeah, so the email address used to be psychicfrank1 at gmail. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it. But and I had to find somebody to help me in this building to hook it up. So there's if you want to get a hold of me, my YouTube channel is Psychic Frank apostrophe S Mystery School. That's exactly what I do these 2 shows a month for SF Commons here in San Francisco, California. But I do have a YouTube channel, and thank you, Alex in Denver. Thank you. He knows what I'm talking about. And always sending you healing energy, and you know that. And holding good thoughts for you. And yeah, he's recovering from something, a hit and run. And it wasn't a run. Okay, that's enough about Alex. Okay, so what's going on now? Oh yeah, there's so much. I was just, okay, happy June. Yeah, so here's the United States of America's chart. We're going to be talking about, and there's Gabby. That's my parrot. Yeah, so June 6th, here's the mountain astrologer right here. And we're talking about the Gemini new moon, June 6th at 5:37 in the morning Pacific Daylight Time. And it's interesting because just before this, I was watching Pam Gregory, astrologer, UK, British astrologer there, and she was talking about the Cancer solstice coming up on the 20th of June. Can you believe how the seasons are just zipping right along? We're in the last couple of weeks of spring. And on June 20th, spring will have sprung into sensitive Cancer, nurturing, mothering, intuitively knows what you need before you even know you need it. Cancer is just America. America is Sun, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, 7th, 8th house. It's interesting because the whole shift now with Pluto into Aquarius is going to light up our North Node, Leo, the heart. This is like every 500 something years. This doesn't happen every day. Yeah, but on this on the 20th, the solstice. The moon will be 15 degrees Cancer, Sagittarius, and our rising sign is 12 degrees Sagittarius. So that's really important because that affects the next 3 months. And a lot of what's going on in our 12th house now, the moon will be conjuncting our ascendant here in the United States. And for the next 3 months, July, Jupiter will be 6 degrees conjunct Uranus, America's planet Uranus, 9 degrees. So, psychic sensitivity, the Cancer is going to really expand all that, going beyond. See, a lot of people, Sagittarius there with the moon in Sag, which is going to affect, even though it's happening only for a day or two around the solstice, it affects the 3 months happening ahead of us. So there's that urge to travel, and it really is. You make that the urge to go beyond what is. That's travel inward. Yeah, that's where we need to go now. Go beyond, because the sun will be squaring Neptune, which is really psychic precognition. Everybody, not everyone we have ever known, we're going to really expand I'm finding too. Why am I surprised? It's part of the process. Every time you think like, "Wow, I've never reached a space before," and then you realize, don't get too attached because you're going. Right now, I'm with I'm Hindu. I was just realizing Gandhi was assassinated on the 30th of January, 1948. And I was born 11 months later in November of 1948. And I believe my guides told me Gandhi's energy was hanging around the earth that year. And I believe a lot of his energy is in me. And because I'm a Hindu, I guess, because it's Brahma, the creator. Shiva, the destroyer. I'm a psychic activist. Yeah, yeah. And then Vishnu, the protector. So yeah, I've my psychic wits have grown sharp enough to. I'm communicating with Brahma. Yeah, and. Because I've got Shiva and Ganesha all over the place. I'm always the last to know. But that veil has really gotten really thin. And go with it, I'm telling you. And it's all about love, It's all about what's happening is, we've been waiting. I've been waiting since the '60s. I'm 70. I'll be 76 in 6 months. And I've been waiting for this revolution to happen, a peaceful revolution, a non-violent, a revolution in consciousness. Because Sagittarius is all about hope, finding meaning, as much as we can in this mystery we're living. Life's not a mystery to be solved, but not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. So the second half of June is really a step change, pivot, get to the new beat. No more lockstep. It's all everybody doing their own little funky boogaloo down their own little Broadway. Collapse of the old order. I've been waiting since Nixon for this. One disappointment after the next, and the wait is over. I mean, I can't hold that in. The wait is over. The collapse has happened. It was televised. They were saying in the '60s, the revolution will not be televised. Oh yeah, well, it is. We saw it all, and if you don't watch TV, we've got actually running a guy supervisor in San Francisco who I met at at a celebration when cannabis was put on the ballot. It was a victory, 215, and I was an activist, and I met this Aaron Piskin or whatever his name is, and he was slugging down some drinks at a bar. There was this big celebration for cannabis at a bar, but that's another story. Because cannabis is medicine. Anyway, I said, hi, I introduced myself as I produce a show for SF Comments. I have a live TV show. And he just, I don't watch TV. That really irks me the wrong way. I gotta get over that. It irks me. But anyway, this guy's running for mayor now. And, he's one of those guys who quit drinking. And he probably knows the exact day and moment and minute of that day now. Oh yeah, I've been sober, 5 years, 2 months, 382 seconds. I don't remember when I quit drinking. I just knew it was over. My bud got it wouldn't stay contained anymore, and it just, this is it. I'm flowered. It happened when Uranus hit my moon. It was a decade or so ago. Anyway, so the second set, so I digress. I wasn't a digress. I just sort of got waylaid. I got waylaid just then. So we're waiting for the wait. The wait is over. Yeah, that's it. That just totally, I blow a fuse when I think about this. The collapse is over. We all saw it. They stole they're better than storming the Bastille. They went into the city hall and rubbed human feces on the wall. of people died. I was stuck in New York City from 67, 68, 69. So it was like 4 or 5 years there. I was living on 11th Street in the Lower East Side. And I had a job, a real nice job, uptown at Broadway. But I had a little bag pack because I had to check in every other month. I had a draft card. And buddies of mine, if you burnt your draft card in protest, you were put in jail. Friends of mine were leaving for Canada, But I just trusted, job will be done, and thank God I never went. I wasn't a draft dodger, but my whole life, New York City in the late '60s or early, rivers were on fire from pollution. Just what it says it all in the Mamas and Papas song, 12:30. I used to live in New York City. Everything there was dark and dirty. Yeah, that's true. Then the clock that always said 12:30. Yeah, I knew that clock. Yeah, it was right in the Lower East Side. Now that song's in my head. I'm hearing the Mamas and Papas. Yeah, I would have to take two shirts, one to work, because it was so dirty if I wanted to go out after work or something, because I didn't have any pets then. I'd have to have a cleaner shirt because it was so dirty. Everything there was dark and dirty. I've been back since then. It's cleaned up. It's like Disneyland now, pretty much. Excuse me. Okay, so hope. So because there's this Sag, the Cancer solstice, but that's so these days even before it, like on June 9th. Okay, let's get back to right now. On June 9th, in a few days, because I'm taping this on the Tuesday, the 4th of June, and hopefully it'll be aired on the 8th and the 15th. And then the next shows I do will be the 22nd and the 29th. I'm on every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 29 if you're living in San Francisco and it's subscribed to Comcast. It's SF Commons. Tell your friends. And thank you, Bayvac, for permitting SF Commons to be on there and Comcast. I'm not going to go there. So Mars is going to enter Taurus June 9th until July 19th. Our motivational energy and constant stream of action energy into which we can hook into in order to accomplish even the most demanding of tasks. There is no more steady, patient energy. That's what that Taurus offers. There's no more. Yeah, it's time now to use that patient Taurus. Oh yeah, Taurus is known for that placid, patient energy, but that's over now because Mars is energizing that. It's taken 2 months, 2 years. Every 2 years, Mars spends 2 months in whatever constellation. This time it's Taurus. Sometimes a planet will go back and forth, retrograde, and sometimes it'll spend like 6 months or longer. But this time it's 2. So our challenge now is to stay deeply, profoundly connected to lovingness. And I thought, that word love gets pushed around, it gets really, it's almost become cliche, that this whole, love is become like a sentimental cliche when it's actually, as Dr. King said, love is not only reality. By the way, Dr. King was a mystic, is a mystic. He is so attached to this planet right now. So is John Lewis. I could do a whole show on that. Love is the only reality, and it is not mere sentiment. It is the ultimate truth that lies at the heart of creation. Enlightenment is waking up to the truth, and the truth is the universe is love. That's why a lot of people can't handle enlightenment. There's a fine line between enlightenment and insanity. So, love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in the being of God. Wow, this is beautiful. Rumi says, language is a tailor shop where nothing fits. Yeah, trying to describe the universal love is. I was fortunate enough to leave my. I think I died. I don't know where I went in '82, but I left my body. I came back like on the floor like a flounder, shaking and tears flowing out of me. And I went to the phone and I picked up St. I don't know how I got St. Mary's Hospital. The angels connected me. It was September 19th, 82. And wow, I came back. I changed so much. It was, and nobody I knew even knew me anymore. And I thought I was a walk-in because Ruth Montgomery had written these books about extraterrestrials who make agreements with human beings on planet Earth whose souls aren't happy here, and they walk in and they walk out or something. And so when I met this psychic, Norma Tringali, back in around that time in the mid '80s, and I studied with her for a few years. She's no longer on this plane with us. And I said to her the first session with her, "Am I a walk-in?" And she laughed and she said, "No, nobody walked out." So I know, but I guess my true self came out, and but I had like. Hey, Gabby. Yeah, Gabby. Hi. How you doing, sugar? How you doing, sugar lips? You looking good. Yeah. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. Talks among yourself on that one. Ignore those that make you feel fearful and sad. That degrades you back towards disease and death. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. Woo! Well, Sag is all about fire. Use that fire correctly. Okay. Nonviolence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savage. Meat is murder. Meat is murder. Until he extends the circle of his compassion to all living things, man will not himself find peace. Albert Schweitzer, it's time, it's all about air. We're moving from fire, from earth and water, material things, material and emotions and material attachment there. Well, that's gone now. That's the old school. Now we're elevating air and fire, creating through divine co-creating. Look, the America's the best minds got us where we are now. These research they're doing means they don't know. They don't know. We're So anyway, we'll put this all away. Okay. Einstein said back in he was the last, I thought, great Republican president. I remember my grandfather giving me my first I like button. Well, he literally would sit under the grapevine in Oyster Bay and cut these wooden spoons for my grandmother. It was almost the brief moments of Camelot and the nightmare of having to go to this away from them. If I had stayed with my grandparents, who knows? But anyway, if wishes and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas. There's this amazing book. The legacy of the heart, the spiritual advantages of a painful childhood. See, I moved my books around, and then I put the important books over here. And this was in there, and I don't remember putting it there, but the other day I was doing some rearranging, and I said, I don't remember this. Oh, yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, just a few things out of here, and this is at the end of the book. Yeah, this is by a guy named Wayne, Wayne Mueller. I met this guy in the park I belong to on Howard Street, Langston Park, and he introduced himself as Dwayne. And I said, "That's a nice name." He said, "Oh, growing up, I got a lot of down the Dwayne." I said, "Well, let it go, honey. Let it go." But this was not. Uh, okay. Uh, Gandhi wisely points out, even as we serve others, we are working on ourselves. Every act, every word, every gesture, every genuine, compassionate compassion uh, nurture naturally nourishes our own hearts as well. It is not a question of who is healed first. When we attend to ourselves with compassion and mercy, more healing is made available for others. When we serve others with an open and generous heart, great healing comes to us. But what was this thing I was talking? Oh, here it is. Well, I guess I needed to read that. Yeah, it says. Just a few sentences here. There is more to life, Gandhi said, than increasing its speed. Many of us believe that speed will actually set us free. The more we can impress and satisfy others, the more we get done, the better we will feel. Okay, Gabby, we're busy here. Okay, the more and the more we will accomplish. The more we will feel like we deserve to be here, and the closer we will feel to a sense of serenity. But of course, we are never quite done. We refuse to rest, claiming there is too much to do, too many people to see. Our work is so important, and our responsibilities so critical that to leave anything at all undone would be irresponsible and unthinkable. One of the dangers of busyness and overwork is that we lose the capacity to listen closely to what our work is really about. You're working on a mess. See, that's what's going to be happening when the North Node, South Node goes from Aries, Libra to Pisces, Virgo. Virgo sometimes doesn't understand that they're working on a perfect mess. They're so into perfection, you see. But that's a few months down the road. Of course, every 18 and a half years, the North Node, South Node polarity, the dragon's head, the dragon's tail. The North Node is where your soul wants to go. It's all about the soul's evolution. So right now, the North Node with Aries, we'll talk about that in a minute. Our rush of movement, in our rush of movement, we forget our gifts. We lose touch with our talents and intuitions. We become deaf to our genuine inner wisdom. Thomas Merton says that when we succumb to this busyness, we are actually giving birth to a subtle form of violence. So that's what I'm saying, my sensitivities have gotten so blown in now. When I'm walking down the street now, the city street, which left of San Francisco, used to be much more populated. I miss that. I'm sure everybody does. And I see these guys with these, what do they call them? Plugs. They're not plugs, they're ear paws. I don't even know what they call them. I call them butt plugs. Because to me, this is violence. I just want to say, man, you're on Earth. Okay. It says, he says, the word busy in Chinese is composed of two characters, heart and killing, where we make ourselves so busy that we are always rushing around trying to get this or that done or over with. We are killing something vital in ourselves. Man, dig that. How many times do we say, I got to get this over with? Oh, yeah, I got to get this done with, Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the flower at every stage of its beauty. And when the petals are gone, put them in a bowl. Look at them. What do you want to do? Shoot the swans? These lovelies? When we invest our work with judgment and patience, always striving for speed and efficiency, we lose the capacity to appreciate the millions quiet moments that may be bringing us peace, beauty, and joy. Duh. As we seek salvation through our frantic productivity and accomplishments, we squander the teachings that may be present in this very moment, in the richness of this particular breath. In the book of that when ECC, Ecclesiastics there's a proverb: better one hand full of quiet than two hands full of striving after wind. Unpracticed in the art of quiet, we hope to find our safety and our belonging and our healing by increasing our levels of accomplishments, but our frantic busyness actually makes us deaf to what is healing and sacred, both in our lives and in one another. That's why it's June now. Gay month is almost over. Gay Pride month is starting rather, and there'll be a lot of these fairs happening all summer. They're so loud now. They're so blastingly loud. I avoid the neighborhoods because you could hear them literally 5 blocks away, and the closer you get, I'm not going to risk my hearing, so you can't even talk to friends anymore. It used to be, I haven't seen you in so long. Yeah, you can't do that. But loud is better. Yeah, London Breed, loud. Yeah, so everybody can forget all the damage she did. Oh, that's talking about if you don't know London Breed, just San Francisco. Okay, there's something this is about Pluto now. Pluto is all about what does it say now? Okay, Alice Walker said anything we love can be saved, and it goes. This book reminded me. It's called Wild Mind, Wild Earth. Wild Mind, Wild Earth by David Hinton. Are placed in the 6th extension, and it really blames it all on Christianity, and it was like a few months ago, almost a few years ago, I remember I had just started doing my show at SF Commons, so I was still in my 60s, and early 60s, and I was at Safeway. I haven't been to Safeway in over a decade. I do all my shopping now at Rainbow Grocery. It's the hippie commune. It's owned by the people that work there. And they're picking up. It's over on South of Market there. So anyway, I lost my little chart there about... Yeah, so, and I was standing online at Safeway, and this woman in front of me just happened to be a black woman, and her back towards me had this shirt on, and it said, "We're here to eat, and destroy the planet." And I just was like, wow. I remember mentioning it on one of my shows. We're talking way over 11, 12 years ago. And then this guy reminds me of all that, And he says, and it goes, and this reminded me of this Transcendence. This was written in BC, somewhere in the 2nd century BC, and in that day men will be transcendent, it's called, and in that day men will be weary of life, and they will cease to think the universe worthy of wonder and worship, ... They will no longer love this world around us, ... This glorious structure, ... As to the soul and the belief that it is immortal by nature, or may hope to attain immortality, all this they will mock at, and they will even persuade themselves it is false. And Alice Walker said, anything we love can be saved. Well, I love this planet, I love Earth, I love it. And what he talks about here, about how Christianity is the most I remember studying anthropology for a few months in New York City when I thought I was going to go into medicine. I actually studied at a hospital for joint diseases in Harlem. It's the biggest anthropology lab. And okay, I wrote it down because this is part of anthropology, is about the human body. This is anthropocentric, regarding man as the central fact or final arm of the universe. So Christianity is the most anthropomorphic religion as seen. Like, this is it. It stops here. Man shares in great measure. It goes, man shares in this great measure God's transcendence of nature. Christianity, in absolute contrast to ancient paganism and Asian religions, except for perhaps some other ones, not only established a dualism of man and nature, but also insisted that it is God's will that man exploit nature for his proper ends. Live long and prosper. Don't forget about overpopulation. The story places us above the rest of creation and makes our exploitation of the earth a divine imperative. For in God's broader intent, we humans inhabit earth as part of a divine plan of redemption. We are being tested, and earth is the proving ground. Intended for our use as we prove our worthiness to rejoin God and enjoy eternal bliss in heaven. Wild landscape was nothing more than a stage and resource based for the human adventure, something to dominate, possess, and exploit on the journey to a spiritual realm more and more real than this earthly one. It is a bizarre and fantastical scheme, and the results have been catastrophic. Perhaps it's true nothing can save the planet at this point. Perhaps the great vanishing has already gone too far, functioning as a barely noticed body. Assumptions that Greek Christian paradigm has conjured every aspect of our material lives, and the whole self-involved globalized, consumer-driven capitalist extravaganza, which accords little or no value to the non-human. Perhaps it's too late to change all that, and it's too abstract now and too distant. Then he goes on. It says to think about it goes, our whole relationship to this planet, analysis and understanding. They don't understand we're kin. They're our kin. They're our family. This planet, the stars, the earth. We are stardust. We are golden. I'm not going to burst into Woodstock there. To analyze and understand the world is to possess and master it. We're not living the mystery, because I threw that in. Breathe, Frank. To analyze and understand the world instead of ourselves. The world is to possess it and master it. Gabby's enjoying this. And to devalue it, as we're doing, as a detached object of our attention, stripping it of its kinship. We're disowning ourselves from this. That's when I see these people with these, I call them butt plugs in their ears. Hey! Yeah. And it's our nature's, and it's our culture's whole relationship to the planet, semicolon, analyze and understanding, which facilitates manipulation and exploitation. Wow, dig that, The more we analyze and understand, which facilitates, manipulates. The only reason we're doing this outer space thing, they know we're as far out of space as we're ever going to get. This is like we're trying to manipulate space now. It's just like, wow, oy vey. I say, I can't, I'm a spiritual, I'm a healer, so I deal with all religions, but this Hindu, my soul came up with this past life or this connection to Gandhi. I don't understand it, but I have a few books about Gandhi's life, and I would buy all these books over the last, 30, 40 years, and they were only like $1, $2, and I'd go, well, I'll read these when I'm old. And then I realized, Frank, you're old. So I'm reading them all now. It's time, it's Saturn, man. It's all about time. It's all about time. Okay, then it goes, we're stripping ourselves. Perhaps the more importantly, though, is how thoroughly human lives are imaginable in an imaginable realm, and how that self-absorption cuts us off from immediate experience of the world around us. Self-absorption dramatically intensifies the virtual realm of television, computer, and smartphones, for it precludes kinship as the texture of everyday experience. We can see it. Oh, yeah, it goes on and on. So that's why, as I say in that poem, the story places us above creation. And that poem, there's a whole poem I started off with, was all about, the de-severed hand is an ugly thing, and so is a man detached from our connection to the space, to the. Well, if you're watching this, I'm going to pick a few cards for us now, because I really want to get into the fact that this Gemini new moon will be here in a couple of days. So I guess if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, yeah, definitely June 6th is what today's the 4th, so we got it's Tuesday. So 2 days from now, you want to plan a new idea. Plan something. Visually see yourself doing something. Yeah, Pluto, as I said, falling we're getting. This is the last. Pluto's going to back up. I don't know if I said this, but it's worth it repeating. Pluto's retrograde now in Aquarius. We had a little taste of what's ahead, but come the end of September, there through October, for 3 months, we're going to have. This is what did I say? July. June, okay, June, July, August. So we're going to have 3 months now with the Sagittarius stuff I talked about earlier. The solstice is affecting but as soon as the solstice is over, and then we come into the autumnal equinox, that's when Pluto's going to back up in Capricorn for the last time until November, and then it'll enter Aquarius the end of November for 20 years, making it a 21-year transit. This hasn't happened for like 250-something years. So we're literally now, as Eckhart Tolle said, where the new is here. It's the dying making a lot of noise, and as I said earlier, it's worth repeating, we, thanks to the Republican, I'm not going to, probably W or whatever, all these people thought it'd be a good idea, Citizens United. Wow. Give it a catchy name like Citizens Ununited would have been more apropos. But let's get civics. No more Pledge of Allegiance. This country was born out of, to get away from these organized religion. Why can't I praise Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna? Why are there no more Krishna temples around? If I had a hammer. Well, if you have a hammer, all you see is nails. That's what Donald Trump. That's the world he lives in. Yeah. So okay, let me pick a card. For you all. Let's see what our collective. Nice healing breath. Let me cut the cards and see. Yeah, Gabby. Let's see what we got going on here. I'll pick 6 cards for you all. Okay. 1. Okay, first we're going to do 3 cards. Okay, 1. Pick a number right now. 1, 2, or 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you picked 1, you're in good shape. You're wearing all that armor just because it looks so good. Everything looks good on me. You got your heart there. This is a nice card. I'm not getting that, he even wants to take off the armor. I think you've gotten so used to wearing it collectively. I did say this was a collective reading. What are we afraid of? If you're living in fear, you have more faith in fear than you have in God. God is love. Everything love. If you knew the importance of love and compassion and empathy, oh my God, you would sell everything you had for it, as Rumi would say. Because it's no matter what you have, if you don't have that, you're missing it. You're missing it. Okay, if you pick 2, yeah, transformation now. Yeah, this is it. It's happening. It's happening. It was, as I said, we've been waiting for this. Well, it's here. This is what this new moon. This is what this terminal, this vernal equinox. What is this? The Cancer solstice now. Yeah, there's going to be a whole slew of on the 6th of this month of this Gemini, Venus, Sun, Mercury, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter now. Jupiter's all about mental. Nobody's really talking about. I'm just watching a lot of astrology videos. 2 of my favorite astrologers, because I don't consider myself an astrologer. I'm a psychic healer who uses astrology, numerology, and the tarot, my psychic abilities, because this healing energy comes out of me. So what's going on now is this collective energy in transformation, and it's all about this Gemini twins. One's mortal, one's immortal. Every time one gets a good idea, the other one's going to get a zillion ideas. What, are you crazy? That never works. So keep those twins in the same circle. If you can think it, you can materialize it. Miracles happen. The whole universe is mystical. It's a mystical. Potheads know that. The potheads who drink on top of pot, or you're trying to make this, they're trying to you do so much damage to your kundalini, but eventually you'll get it either a miracle or somehow in this life or in a future life. But this whole thing about recreational mushrooms, psychedelics. Cannabis is psychedelic enough, man. You don't need that. If you, like I say, for so many decades now, since everything's been outlawed in the '60s, there were people who, working. Cary Grant took like 100 and something LSD trips to get him over being gay, so he could father a daughter. Because he didn't want to be gay. But for behavior, that's an extreme. But a true fact of how LSD therapy but once you stimulate your kundalini, man, you really, everything has a consciousness, and you could bring that back to this earth. But if you're doing this for kicks and giggles, you're hurting yourself. But as I said, tune into your own guides, tune into your guides, tune into this show. Okay, and if you pick 3, okay, we've given our power away. It's time to take our power back now. Establish who we are. Look, our ships are coming in here in San Francisco. Watching the ships come in, we watch them go away again. Well, that's what's happening now. The tides are coming up now. Everything we screamed about in the '60s, and now I guess my voice is loud because I'm screaming all by myself. I mean, it seems like it compared to like all the. Nixon open season on Kent State. He actually ordered the Kent State students to be shot for protesting. So, man, history doesn't rhyme, doesn't repeat itself, but it sure as hell rhymes. I'm going to pick 6 cards for you all now and see what we collectively want you to know. Okay, here's what we feel about ourselves, what we're wishing for, our fears, what's going on for us, against us, and let's see what the final outcome is here. What's the likely outcome here? Okay, Gabs, we're a little busy, sister. Wow, the Empress just popped right out of there. She's nature. Get ready for all this shift into Taurus now. Make all the mental adjustments now. Weed your mental garden. Get rid of all the struggle, lack, limitation weeds. All those things you got to get done. The only thing you got to get done is know yourself. To thyself be true. See, that's how we feel now. We need to nurture ourselves. It's been, 6 years of this non-stop broken record. Yeah, it's bad, America. break that record, break that record. This is like in Abu Dhabi or whatever it was. They kept on playing these horror. When Donald Trump was on tour, one of what's her name? One of these female reporters now, but she was just starting out when he was on tour of the country before as he was running for president. He did tour the country, and she was in his bus with him. She was in the bus. Imagine being stuck on a bus with Donald Trump for a couple of months. I think it was a month. The Tiny Dancer by Elton John's. Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer. It was on the reel that she had to listen to over and over again for day in and day out, as if being on a bus with Donald Trump was a strange and unusual punishment. But anyway, we all need to like buy ourselves a Coke, or I don't like Coca-Cola, but that was a saying in the 60s. You want to buy the world a Coke. Buy yourself a joint, man. Treat yourself good. Have a little psychedelic experience. Play with your animals. Rent a cat. Rent a dog. Hug a tree. As I said, I'm way into hugging rocks now. Okay, so that's what's going on our collective, how we're feeling about ourselves. We really need a hug. Hug. It was this guy in New York, they were saying, who was hugging everybody. He had a sign, free hugs. Yeah, can't do that anymore. I don't know what happened. Okay, what we want most right now is what to do with the sadness. How do we find sadness? They're killing babies, thousands at a time, children, with our tax dollars are paying for these atrocities. Uh, you know, yeah, what did I say? Regal's trickling down. When you see these homeless families camping out on sidewalks, this is Reaganomics. This is Reaganville. And the fossil fuel barons, living it up with our tax dollars. We pay them to destroy our earth. Stop funding them. Yeah, we... It's a shame. It's a shame now, but I stopped that, Frank. Don't judge it as a shame. I've known this since, as I said, I was a kid in the '60s. In my 20s, late teens. Yeah. So what do we do with the sadness now? If you notice, the cars are all symmetry there. They're not. It's like you find joy there. You find peace in this. You find something in your inner self in doing. You find joy in empathy. You find the joy in giving no matter what you have, give something to somebody. We're here to serve somebody. It might be the devil, it might be the Lord, but you gotta serve somebody. That's an old song, Bob Dylan. You gotta serve somebody. That's the rent you pay. Muhammad Ali said, service is the rent you pay for your life on this precious, precious life that we only certain lives are important. We understand now all life, everything has a consciousness. And this is an important story. It used to be the Roxy Theater. We used to show this. I don't know if anybody even goes there anymore, who goes to movies. But it was... The Matter of Heart, the movie. I guess you can get it on a DVD, a movie, and it was the life story of Carl Jung told through the eye. Filmed this older grown Fräulein in her 90s, it seemed, and she was a young teenager, 18, 19 years old, when she was Carl Jung's secretary in her early 20s, and that's when psychoanalysis was all the rage. And all the in Europe, and all these royalty and people when they had their daughters turned 18, and their affluent people, their daughters would be sent to Geneva with their 18th birthday to undergo psychoanalysis with Dr. Jung. And these women would go into Dr. Jung's office, leave their entourage behind them, and then 10 minutes later the door would slam and they'd leave in a huff. And then a year later, they'd show up, and Dr. Young would open the door and say, "Oh, I've been expecting you." Because he knew it would take around a year for them to chew on what he said to them, because it was really upsetting them. But so what we do is what I do. You find some joy in doing something I'm not going to mention all the little things I do that nobody knows about. Those count the most. When you tell somebody, well, I did that, or I give to that charity, or I gave so much money to. Wow, you just screwed it all up, honey. Yeah, work on it. But you came in to find joy here. Everybody's grateful at a banquet, as they're telling me right now. Learn to joy to journey. Take these things out of your ear and dig where you're at, and change if you don't like the noise. Change that. If you don't like what's happening, don't pop pills. What's the condition that's making you? Who's gaslighting you? That's what you want to ask yourself. Okay, and what is our fears? Not trusting life. Not trusting life. Life's a mystery to be lived. Not trusting there are unseen forces now. Angels, per se. The law is you have to ask for their help. And they're telling me now a lot of times when people ask for help and then a healing crisis happens, that's the help. You really, and then when you work with them to get through that, you get to, the answered prayer. By the way, more tears are shed onto answered prayers. Mother Teresa said that. So that's why instead of praying for this or that, just pray that you're true to your heart, knowing that your heart came in to be one of these peaceniks. Flower power. Everything's. I want to be one with everything. You are one with everything. You don't have to die before you live, as Sly Stone said. Okay, what's going on for us now? This is a chance now. Unchain my heart, baby. Set me free, please. Take these chains away. Who you put? When people say I'm living on a fixed income, well, who fixed it? You're not a. Victims don't heal. I'm teaching this because I need to learn it. I mean, every day I have to tell myself this stuff, but I'm picking up now because I'm, So this is why. This is what we fear now. Like. What's going on for us, rather. We don't see this as an opportunity now. Yeah, our lives we're slaves. We're living these lives of slavery. We don't take time we don't have time to nurture ourselves, or whatever we're calling nurturing, or even sit down and eat a peaceful, whatever, smoke a joint in peace, whatever you do. Get away from alcohol, man. It kills your brain cells. You need a psychedelic experience. Okay, what's going on that was going on for us. This is what's going on against us now. Making friends with all these things now. The world's just friends you haven't met yet. Oh, I gotta go yet. Here we go. The final one is Saturn now. Takes us out of one playpen and puts us in a bigger, better play. We're in a better one. Go with it. Be with it. Go with the flow. I gotta go. We're out of time. I love you. Say goodbye, Gabby.